What is going on, everybody? As you can see, we are still coming to you live from Stockholm, Sweden. This is the GLL Grand Slam PUBG Classic. My name is Parla, and I'm still joined on the desk by Steve and Patrick. How are we doing in the audience? You guys enjoying the action? There we go. I like that. We've got a group going on a Friday. Things are going up. We're about to reach the halfway point of the day. It's our third match, our final one on Miramar before we go into the second half of Erangel. Guys, let's get up the scoreboard for our second match and then the overall leaderboard.
People love scoreboards.
I think it's of course, I mean, they tell the story, right? Match ones, we're getting all of the scoreboards up. So this is...
a flashback.
No, this should be our match 2 scoreboard.
There you go.
There we go. Nice work from the overlay crew. Yeah, this is our match 2 scoreboard. It was Team Liquid that came out on top with 19 points. Red Canids, congratulations to them, representing the Latin American region, getting 17 points. And then we see G2 in third joint with a couple of other teams as well.
Well, let's talk about Singularity gets 7, Bitloft gets 3. Between Latin America, they killed over a third of the lobby here. They did some great work, almost third, I think it's fourth. I'm bad at math, let's not talk about it.
Never do math on stream.
These guys have been performing well above, I think, what expectations were coming into it. I'm very happy to see Red Canids doing this well and to see Athletico in 4th place for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're saying. Don't underestimate the people from Oceania, from Latam. They're here to show up. And
amen.
Athletico, 5th place, 5 kills last game. 5th place, 6 kills. That tells you the story. They're really consistent already.
Indeed. Let's get up the overall leaderboard now as well. You can see the standings after match 2. So Team Liquid, after that second match, put themselves in the 1st place spot. Na'Vi, after winning the first match, have fallen down to 2nd after match number 2, and Red Canids are in 3rd. Athletico in 4th, and Tempo, who've had 2 quite up and down games. At points they've looked good, and then they've been taken advantage of at other points, are in 5th.
I like those little arrows. Let you know where the
That's really good being able to see the placement changes, right?
Absolutely, because that's a big part of it. Is like momentum is a big part of PUBG. I mean, you played at the pro level. You understand that having that sort of mentality and coming into this. Red Canids, I think, is going to have a great next game, hopefully, because they're running on a high. I mean, that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's a really big deal. It comes in with the mindset you're coming into the next game, but you also make sure that you do good in that game, because if you don't, and you go from high to low straight away, that's really bad.
Well, let's that on the nose. Let's talk about that for a second. Na'Vi dominated in game 1, and then they come out, and we talked about it. We said if it's not a Na'Vi circle, if they can't go on foot, what happens? The next circle is dead opposite of their loot drop, and sure enough, they go out in 14th place with 0 kills. So Na'Vi has to come back from that, and they lost that momentum.
I mean, it might be rough coming into the next game here. It's going to be another Miramar, of course, but I feel like when we see them on Erangel after the next game here, we're going to see them rise up again.
Truth. That's the thing I like about them, is they're great on Erangel and Miramar, but I think the start on Miramar is going to boost them, because Erangel really is their bread and butter.
Yeah, indeed. And guys, before we get into any more details about this match in particular, our final outing on Miramar of the day, why don't we take a look at Team Liquid in some more detail, but on a mini golf course.
What?
What is going on, everybody? I'm here with Team Liquid, Jeem, Sampty, Jempty, and Ibiza. How you all doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Ready? Doing good.
Yeah, what are we about to do?
Play mini golf?
Play some mini golf.
I've never done this before, just saying.
Just hit the ball. Ooh. Do you guys do many activities together? Because you live in Berlin, right?
In the beginning, we did a lot. Lately, we haven't done too many. Oh, actually, we just recently went paintballing, actually, so...
Oh, nice.
We have an apartment, that we share together. We're 6. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's me.
Okay, here you go.
Nice. Good posture. Oh.
Okay, that was...
He might have jammed that out. That's going to bounce back in. Almost. Oh. Hey.
There we go.
Hole in 3, baby.
All right. Number 2.
Hole number 2. What's up, guys? What's going on over here? You're bringing the American vibes, yeah. It's lit. What are we listening to? It's a bit obnoxious, isn't it? Anyway, guys, I love what's going on over here, but just keep it down a bit, you know? They're American, right?
Yeah, they're American.
Yeah, American. Do you guys ever, like, communally listen to rap music together, or is that more of an American
Me,
thing?
EB, and 17 sometimes in the living room.
Yeah?
Yeah, we put on some music, some bangers.
What, like some, I don't know, some Ja Rule?
He likes Lil Skies.
Oh, Lil Skies, nice.
What do you listen to?
I listen to Dutch rap, actually.
Dutch rap?
Yeah,
Like?
just non-stop.
Okay.
Oh, it's a hole 3. Smart. Oh! Two guys. Staying dry. Beautiful. How's that? 2 or 3? See, this is what the Grand Slam is all about, you know, looking after each other, teamwork.
Yeah.
We've got some chill music in the
We
back.
got some vibes.
All right, you guys can take this.
All right.
All right.
Too much.
The Americans took all our umbrellas. The synergy between us right now is
Oh yeah.
electric.
It's automatic.
Yeah. Press F to pay respect.
Yeah. I'm not even trying. It's automatic.
F's in the chat
Oh,
again.
that's shockingly bad.
Oh, he's still there. He's going back.
You still there?
He's still there.
I'm not tilted, I'm just missing. Remember your score, guys. I'm 4-3-2, so I'm 9.
What? No, I have only 2s.
Oh, you have only 2s?
Yeah. Let's go.
Another 2. Easy peasy. Easy peasy for him, I would say. It's automatic.
Oh, I need a hole in one now. Stay in the runnings.
Should I hold it far up?
I don't know. I don't really know the mechanical advantage of the rain.
It's automatic.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't fluff this one, Parla.
There we go. Beautiful.
Beautiful. See some of that Dutch power.
No!
Stunning. I think he's going to get this, guys. Gentle giant. Good shot. Straight. Right down the middle. Crowd goes wild. We are about to play the final hole. Let's take a look at the scores first, see exactly where we are at.
Hey, who's this? The only 2s. Oh, it's me.
No, it's you. I'm on 15.
I don't care where you are. It's automatic.
Yeah.
8, 11, 13, 16. Quick
Okay.
maths.
Nice. So you're doing worse than me. That's good to know.
8, 10, 16 as well.
16. Okay.
15.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What? I have 14. How?
Yeah, that means you're winning.
Oh yeah, I have 13. Yeah, I have 14. I have 13.
Yeah, I'm 15.
I have
Okay.
12.
You have 12. No, I don't.
Just kidding.
If we get a hole in one now, it could really change the game. Pressure's on. Oh, he gets it through the middle. Oh! 0 chance I'm doing that. Oh!
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
And so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. One of the fiercest competitions you'll ever witness. And the king, at the end of the day, is Jempty. Congratulations.
He's lucky that he won this time.
It's automatic.
James, by the way, who sucked so bad at mini golf, did in fact get a hole-in-one on the last hole of the course. I'm not sure if you at home or in the audience realised, we have very cheeky editors backstage. James did not say it's automatic as many times as they were just cutting that audio into his speech when he was to say.
My big takeaway there is 2. Great job. And a shout out to the star of that video, I think the boom mic, which was my favorite, favorite visitor.
With the
You know what? I think you're a better caddy than golfer.
Yeah, potentially. You know what? I came in second behind Jempty, and I replayed the course the next day, and I got a much better score, equal the best with Toby of 40.
Well,
what
then
I
you
like about
already
you.
played it once.
That's what I like about Paula. You go back and you do it again.
I like
If
competition,
at first
man.
you don't succeed, keep on going back.
I like competition. It's automatic. Anyway, let's turn our attention now to the team that we just saw on screen, Liquid. Guys, what are the main discussion points that we should be talking about when it comes to this powerhouse of a PUBG unit?
I mean, Liquid has and has had for a long time the best drops in the game. They're center on both of their maps, and that's a big deal because it means that they have a massive percentage of getting those circles. They literally start in the best position on the map. So expect performance from them. Then they come out. I thought they'd get it on game 1. They got it on game 2. They get that early victory, which is good for their momentum, their confidence, and their team synergy.
I mean, I guess Cloud9 was just afraid to take the fight because Liquid, they did get Picado. And let's be honest, Miramar, it's actually the weakest map of Liquid. And still, they're right now sitting pretty good there, up there with that win, and they got a lot of kills. But I expect even more from them when we move on to Erangel later on.
I mean, on average, they get 6.6 points on Miramar versus 7.6 on Erangel. So, yes, it is significantly less. A whole point. That's a lot in the grand scheme of things.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So,
over 18 games, that's 18 points.
And when we go over to Erangel, I don't expect them to be challenged for Pachinki. I think that C9, if they showed us that they're willing to let Picado go, will very likely let Pachinki go. And I'm going to be honest, thank goodness. We watched them in London fail miserably up against Liquid, and I think that the lesson was learned, and I'm glad that they accepted the reality of their situation.
All right, well, guys, it's not exactly time for Erangel just yet. We have our final match on Miramar to go, and for now, let's head on over to our casters, Lauren and Richard. And remember, it's automatic.
We'll do our best to remember. I've only heard it a couple of times, so it might be tricky to keep it in there. Yeah, but so far so good, I feel, at least for PEL teams coming out.
NPL?
Oh.
Why are 4 of the teams out of 5 in the bottom 5? One of them with 0 points. And 0 kills, by the way.
There's loads of games to go. It's only day 1. It's only the first couple of
There ain't loads of games. This isn't
fine.
PEL now.
Don't worry about it. Look, I'm trying to just,
This is fine.
imitate Steve. It's all good. I've got to give Steve some grief because I didn't get to give it back on the old banter video. But overall, I've got to say, it's the other regions who are really surprising me. They have been phenomenal so far, whether it be the Aussie boys coming out or, the Oceanic region, or whether it be, LATAM. They're all doing well. They're doing their regions proud. We all kind of took it with a pinch of salt. We sat there and we looked at, how they do in their regions. All right, these guys are fraggers. They've picked up some incredible games. But how does that translate to the bigger picture? Can they take that into an international game? And the answer so far is yes.
I mean, we've seen...
Who's allowed those two in here?
In action before. They used to be known as Brazilian Crusaders, at least that's what we saw them as last time, and they had certain signs of life, and it looked good. And as you mentioned before, in the LATAM region, there are players there that are just ready to be put on a pedestal and ready to shine.
Yeah, give them that structure.
Now, for me, how you put it on that previous game is exactly what Na'Vi did. They went and grabbed the best players, cohesion, teamwork, the best IGL, boom. It works.
It does.
And I think LATAM will eventually get that.
They'll find it. It may take time. It may take another competition like this. Who knows how long it could take. But when it does work, that's a very scary region. We'll find out, and there's still so much more to be seen. We are barely into this. So many more games to come your way over the next couple of days. This is going to be one hell of a competition. It's already so brilliant to watch. Na'Vi winning out the first, Liquid stamping their authority into this game. And now game 3 here. Starting out in the northwest, all the way down towards the south. It's game on for a lot of teams. G2 switching things up, looking for a new route forward. Can't do their usual drop, so it's a bit of a switch up for them. Curious to see how that affects them. And honestly, I want to see more from G2. A team that has real fire, real grit, some nasty individuals, but haven't seen it really accumulate too much yet. And I'm seeing a lot of teams aiming towards, I think that might be Cloud9 so far. A couple of shots coming out from, I think, Singularity, Athletico. Keep your mind towards that if you see any knocks coming out. I think they'll be safe enough for now. I think they're just pot shots. Circle coming in, Rich.
It's in a decent position, especially when we look to where it came in from the playing path. We started up in the corner, all the way in the northwest, Alcantara, then diagonally finishing around where G2 are now. Circle is slap bam over them. And the good head of them, you've only got a couple of teams that are going to have to do some serious work to get in there.
A little bit of a scrap at the start, but I think everything should be calm enough for now. And while we have a second or two, we can actually hear a little bit more from those Liquid players.
Yeah, if the plane goes in a certain way, then some teams drop somewhere else. But for us, it's always the same where we drop, because we go Pachinki and Picado, so it's kind of the plan for this event as well.
Sticking to their guns, and we saw what happens to teams when they clash it out in these areas. no one really seems to win. It is that mutual destruction that can happen. So good to see them able to stick to their plans, but forcing others to switch things up.
Disappointed we knew about the video this time. I hope we were just going to get involved in the cast like last time, because it went kind of well, to be honest with you, and transition pretty good. So either way, Circle, as we mentioned, it's good for a lot of these teams. The main head of the pack is there. The Red Canids, Hell Yeah Brother, Incognito, Tempo Storm not too far from Central Point as well. Team Liquid, this is comfortable ground for them. They won't have to do the usual, even though they do it regardless anyway, but the usual get your gear and get the hell out as quickly as humanly possible. They're in a good pivotal spot where they can be forced to move where they want. Yeah, like how you touched
like a caveman. Look at him.
The fact that they've actually not really gone anywhere just yet.
They're actually in a bit of danger.
They're split between the wins. Really, where are they going? And all these other teams I'm seeing now on the map, there's Tracerfire going their way. They have guns. Singularity, kind of same scenario for the last 3 games. 1-1-1-1, all split and really sparse and sporadic players all over the shop causing problems. It caused problems for the Knights in the last round. Oh, yeah, brother might have some information. There is one player over there. He does
have a shotgun.
Yeah, you don't want to
upgraded
get
now.
Up close and personal with that thing. It will instantly just take your head off.
Yeah, so got to be careful. Crush could feel the wrath here, but you feel as though Crush is kind of being meticulous, checking on these angles, being quite smart, whereas Raspu is unaware of this yet. And now shots coming in from further afar. That's not the player who's at the wall. So Raspu knows of shot further back, but there's the shot coming through. Tag, not what you want. You want that to be clean. Maybe feeling had more of an opportunity, but those grates are really hindering progress. Swing and an absolute destroy of one of the Red Canids players. Bit of a shame for them. That could have been another big game to build off the back of. A gritty team for sure, but it's not gone well. And Singularity and the Knights, again, very close by.
This time round, it will be Navi who are the last of the circle. There's only really Nerf who could be the next one previous. SSG went early. They're all the way on that western coastline up against the cliff face. They'll come down towards the water's edge through Valdemar and skirt the south, I would presume. FaZe are moving inland, and they're going to avoid that one, which is...
Nice rotation route, at least, for them. Not
yeah, it avoids the fight, which is good. Crest 249 already.
3'd up. And I want to see more from Sharky. He's one of those players out in NA who, you know, if you look purely statistically at what he was able to do, it's very impressive. So I'm hoping maybe we get to see more from Tempo Storm with their firepower. They've got positional finishes. They've been okay, but I want a little more. I want to see that that final clip from Dre there. I was like, oh, maybe there's something, but we didn't see it replicated.
When we look back to the FaZe Global Summit, we didn't see the best of them. There were 3 members that were extremely benefit of the doubt. They were very, very ill with Tempo Storm.
Yeah, they weren't feeling very good.
So the Classic, we didn't see the best of them. They're saying, okay, coming into this one, there could be some tempo looking really good. I mean, hell, they just win everything in America. Time and time again in MPL, champion. It's just money in the bank. But then when we get to the international stage, they're a contender, but we haven't seen that spark. We've seen it back in Vegas when we had the Pan-Continental. They were on home turf. They took that home.
They did well.
Slightly different roster. Okay, but still, you've got Zampron there from the OG back in the day. I mean, there's potential. We know it's there. We know what can be done. We've just not seen it yet on this level. RV in your left-hand side. Long rotate from these. Not necessarily rotate, just to head to the circle. There's not going to be many players around them. Power grid empty. Could be an entry point. Take the hillside, have a look in. Knights, they've got 4 alive this time, which is good. It's definitely done damage to them. They're currently down in 13th place. Besides North America, they are the lowest other region. Oh.
Actually, I was about to say, out on a complete limb is Chris. The rest of his side are over by the southeast coast. He went out to maybe get a compound early on, and that's a big player to lose out on very early. I'm quite surprised that he was being that risque about it. That would be somewhat looked for compound, that area south of Leones. We see a lot of teams will gamble on the north side because it will move away from water eventually. But still, this is a little surprising to see Chris caught out like that. I'm curious what G2 thought was going to happen here.
Look, he had the information. The audible cue was there that players were on his position. I'm seeing one of the Athletico players just cycle through the grenades to throw, so they absolutely must know it's here. I mean, you wouldn't be throwing utility this way if you didn't have some sort of an idea. Bit of a wasted opportunity for Loki. He was going to make a stand on this one. He could have maybe moved up closer. You've got those boxes on the back. He could have tried to get on top of the building with, maybe even taken out a player on the vehicle, because they do have a limited amount of movement in their vehicles. You just open to all the elements. Singularity, they're committing to this one, that M24. If he's going to land a shot, he has to land it now. Low-key player Luke. Watching the angle and holding point.
Singularity's player's got a nice angle too, though.
If he hits that 24, then it's go time. But honestly, that's going to be just a miraculous and wild shot to aim for. Oh, C9 here as well. Oh, this is going to be bad.
That's a third party from somewhere else coming in. Yeah, there it is. Drassel, what a shot.
Where's that
big boy shot from Drassel. You can't sit still in these games. And look at the distance on that. Drassel, you absolute animal, 6 times. You're so good at this, but you sit still, you give yourself up. You're going to get picked up, and Drassel's one of the players who could certainly do it. He's reading the play well. He spotted one of the players earlier on that hillside. And look how cautious he's being on his peeking. Peeking up and down, keeping safe, keeping moving, never static. That's the sort of caliber I want to be seeing from Drassel.
Yeah, he's one of those players that just can do anything with a bolt action. Drassel bots, if you watch him stream at home, the man can hit the world. And he's been playing from day one. Hell, we were casting him on Luminosity at Gamescom. Went a little bit in the back scene. We didn't see too much of him. After that, roster had kind of dissipated into the dust. Comes back with a vengeance, works his way up, and now he's in the MPL with Ghost, and they're here on the main stage playing. So it's been good to see his progression from the top to the bottom, back to the top again. But certainly Ghost, they're unfortunately down near the bottom, 14th position. 2 rough games, certainly a 16th place to kick off the day. Won't do wonders for you, not only your points, but generally just your overall feel. You know, you want to put a show on that game number 1. And when you go out like that, it's like, oh, just your mental state takes a bit of a puncture. But then again, you've got to fight till the very end, right? These players, they have mental coaches, they work at it, they work at keeping their momentum going. Been able to just pull yourself out of the dirt and carry on, that's what makes is the difference between a pro team and a terrible team, to be fair. Playing at this level, you can't let things get to you. You can't tilt and fall apart. Circle update's pretty kind to all of them, but unfortunately, it's one of those next scenarios where the next swing, everyone just starts to die because there's no room to breathe.
But look at the kind of no-go zone of Los Leones. No one believes it's going to head there because we know the tendencies of circle play, but we'll come back to that because I think Liquid were getting a little bit close to the Canids there. Down to 3, of course. They did suffer that loss at the beginning, but still able to keep their players perfectly alive. But a lot of these teams are in good enough positions. I think Liquid might have to consolidate their forces, kind of bring everything back together, centralize it. But for now, I think Na'Vi are working their way in. They went for their northern drop. Pretty common for them. It's not the first time you'll see it, nor the last if the plane seems to favor it. FaZe could get a little bit of attention here. They're on the west side roll down of Los Leones, but everyone else lit it in the north, and I think the next circle, if anything, would encourage that shift to Leones if it still keeps it in. For now, they're just banking on the fact it will go on the northern side.
We've seen it before, and no doubt we'll see it again. Whether it's going to be here or not, it's a different question altogether. G2 tends to still play a little bit more passive compared to what we've seen in the past. Oh. Nice response, then. Smart Hitchman takes away the tires from him. K-Mind onto Ibi. Oh, Znak onto Jeems. So 2 of Liquid back to back, and it's stolen. 3 teams onto Liquid. Eyes on the prize, the winners of the previous round. They lose one with the second one knocked. I'll keep an eye and see if there is some sort of response or even a revive off the back of that to keep 3 in it. I realize that Hitchman's on his left-hand side.
Yeah, he's found a little bit of a deflate to operate from, but he's using it to get away more than anything. FaZe being engaged upon as well. They're moving in towards the battle here, moving up through the south side, heading further north. Everyone getting tags in here. Na'Vi not going to overextend. They're a careful team. They'll be smart about this, hopefully. For their sakes, 8C being knocked will at least keep FaZe tempered for now.
Grenades are out. The warning shots are there. He might have to fall back on this one. It's fine from across the road. They can get 8C up from the back of the dustbin. They don't even have to commit smokes to it. Don't give away the position. GMT also knocked. Ibi confirmed. Oh no, Liquid's down to 1. What's going on there?
Yeah, not sure what's happened with them, but they've had a bad start to this. FaZe moving further forward. Everyone else trying to shift further towards north, find some sort of compounds to play from. And looking at who, just once we see that next circle, this is all, I guess it's all dependent on that next circle shift. We can have Nox here for sure. Obviously, Team Liquid suffered a great deal at this point. And now it's game on. Leones becomes playable. This is where it becomes back into the mix. And this is a lot of kind of shifting north-south sort of situation. So it's forced a lot of these teams in that centralized area. And it's going to mean a lot of them will head now towards Leones. Looking at Spacestation Gaming, for example, they've got the pick of the litter. They go wherever they want. Liquid now falling down. Semte's on the run. Last man alive. And the teams who are kind of further in the north do have the option to go on that longer rotation around this circle. And we'll be looking to see who gets good position. I'm looking at Tempo Storm. That's not a bad shout at all. They get that eastern side to play from.
It's kind of scary how many times we say Samty, last man alive. Hell, even Matra memed it in the NPL video. It is a common thing. Everyone else gets a little bit too over-aggressive, extends just a little bit too far on the boundaries and ends up paying the full price. Samty is plumb center, but he is in a very terrible, terrible compound. Tempo's in there. No one committing to the center of Los Leones yet. They'll take the side roads, SSG, G2. Playing it off on the road. Tempo Storm more towards the north with that open plateau compound. Rumblers. A team that is struggling so far is still playing passive. I mean, they need the points. They have no kills. They have no placement points. 16th place. I want to try and change that. It's not where you want to be after 3 games, because 3 games with nothing, I'm sorry, is just...
It's not good enough.
You can't, no, it's not. You can't come back for that. I mean, we saw it with the arrows in the previous round, in the post-game review. You can jump 10 places with a good game, but 3 bad games, no.
Hello, Na'Vi. Goodbye. Maybe Cloud9. Nuff did manage to stay alive and somehow get into that hut, but instantly you got to feel as though the other teammate is going to be going down here. Profi, look at the readjustment from Pokemon as well. Feeling there could be a chance that Nuff had some sort of range to him. Falls back, just waiting to hit the shots. That's fine. That's no bother to me. But if he stopped him getting to that little compound, there it is. He fell back first. He wasn't getting too greedy, but now the rest of Cloud9 turn up. They trade into this one. Cloud9 didn't put all of their players towards that position, so Pokemon actually goes down. Maybe a little overextension in that 2-2.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. This is where Best of Watch says, okay, take the vehicle and get the hell out of there. Hell yeah, brother. Ghost Gaming have turned up.
No, the slow roll.
Yeah, it was announced at least. The information was there, but there is a trade-off back. Shrims is dead. He's gone. Draskell answers back. Balok's gone as well. Oh, this would be devastating if we had 2 out of 3 games down in 16th place. I mean, in the previous one, they lost 3 members, and the same thing's happening. Ghost Gaming are just not having the best of days so far. Mikoi's gone.
Oh, this is really bad.
It's falling apart for him.
Yeah, you got to feel for them in a way. This has just not been one of their games. The circle has shifted towards the southwest of the circle, but here comes the breach. Hell yeah, brother. They're not holding back. They want to push this. Drassel's your last man standing. The choice is his. How does he play it out now? And it looks like they're considering their options. He hears the steps. He's going to try and buy some time. That's a good idea. Drassel, individually good player. Team Liquid has gone down in pretty much last place. Apparently, that's how it goes. You win 1 game, you lose 1. Drassel's nade does the work towards 1 player. That's good. That will buy them time. Now, McCoy's back on his feet. Drassel needs to play this out correctly because I see nades coming through.
I don't know whose smoke that was, but if it was Drassel's, that's a 900 IQ player. Put the smoke down.
Look at the north.
And then lay the mine. Low balls the nade, they walk up, and it does the job. It knocks one, so he's allowed to get the res, but that might be enough. We do have to hop on board with Na'Vi because they're in no man's land. Singularity might have them dead to rights there. Athletico, Na'Vi, C9, Red Canids. Everyone's out in the open. McCoy's kicking off. He's got 2 back-to-back. That's Vasily and Charlie, so there is a response there. And we're just going to keep going, try and get as many fights as possible. Hell yeah, brother. What a response from Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, managing to get that revive was such a big play. I don't know if Drassel was lost in the process. I think it is just now McCoy left. But they still managed to hold on. That looked like they were dead to rights, but now that northern side, it's dangerous for everyone. Cloud9 trying to make a last-minute run for it. Just get the hell out of there, but now Senya wants to take him down with him. Nice work from Senya, good connection. But Cloud9 still a player standing. Na'Vi backs to the wall here, got so many enemies in so many spots, and Athletico pushing forward through this. They're still racking up the points on the way. Zoid, mate, gonna push down towards Pome. Pome goes down. This is a big pickup of points for Athletico. They are going off right now.
The advantage for them is they're on a slower side of the circle, so they can move forward and try and mop up what's left here. You'll have Singularity, Na'Vi, and the pretty much the last man standing here for Cloud9. They can pick up these kills. It's easy frags, it's easy points because the blue is so slow they're allowed to do this. They don't have vehicles, so they can just walk in. The problem is that is open waters, and teams that are going to be inside the circle, they'll have full vision on them.
No front tire on that bike. This isn't going to be pretty. He's a great individual player.
You've got to work with what you've got, Lauren.
This isn't going to be great. There we go. He's got the upgrade, but still, to what end here? It looks like Athletico will work their way forward. They're the kind of last team leaving this sort of area. Singularity have their one player still playing border control, and Athletico are taking every fight possible, and I'm liking it. They've got some real nasty players. Tempo Storm getting spotted out. Rusty Zera's having a bit of a tournament thus far. Nades coming out from FaZe. Oh my word, I thought that almost had it. Not quite far enough. McCoy just about made it in, got gifted a crate, but now has a lot of attention.
That one might do it, Lauren. Oh my God, it bounced off his head near enough.
Pray for McCoy.
And gone. Okay. Ghost Gaming, that's the 16th, a 12th, and the 13th.
Oh, they're pulling up next to him. That's insane. He gets one. I thought there was a second. I thought they were going to run him over for a second. They had no idea he was waiting in that bush. And in the meantime, look at the other team turning up. Incognito are not far away. They heard those shots. They might start looking towards the northern side, knowing they are not the last team to come out from that area.
Everyone's inside the circle. Give you a rough idea where people are. So look at this map for a second. Western side, 2-2 split for the Knights all the way down south. SSG and Rumblers yet to make a real appearance here. Circle, it goes central. FaZe Clan. Would you believe it? Two sides of the road, Lauren. They're going to control that really tall building, the high-rise building.
Yep.
And across the road, they're using their teammate Mexi just to control all this from any information so no one else can come. That, I can't, literally, if this circle goes central again, they are absolutely laughing. You get on roof of there, you just batter people from afar.
Yeah. The Knights working their way in as best they can. They've done well to come out from the western side. They've had a bit of a rough tournament. They've been getting a lot of fights, scrappy fights on the outskirts. Really feeling they've had much of a chance with it. But for now, let's look at who's in the good positions. Tempo Storm still okay. Eric Canids down to just a couple of members, though. That's the issue for them. The Incognito boys, the Athletico boys in the north still need to find their way to the circle. K-Mind, last man alive. G2, not a bad spot. But also, Space Soldiers Gaming could be pretty deadly here. There's Uber getting a couple of shots off, going to get the lay of the land here. That's Athletico making their run. From north to south, K-Mind's going to see it. The Knights are going to see it. Who picks it up, though?
And this is the, oh dear, Athletico not having the best of times on the vehicles by the Lone Snakes as well. K-Mind needs to get the job done here. The last stand for C9 in this match. Yeah,
he's getting helped out by a third party, though. That's from a team behind him up the hill, but the car, it blows up, but he's still alive. The nade will put him down. Cloud9 eliminated. NA not having a tournament just yet at all. Athletico have gone down as well. They are a scrappy bunch, but I'm pretty sure that's them eliminating the north. Incognito didn't need to get involved in the end, really. They held the other side of the ridge. The Knights working in from the west, as every other team will now be in the circle.
They're playing edge. Another team is struggling so far. Unlucky for some, number 13. They get a couple of points in the bag. They should jump them. Athletico with 9 kills. That's a good effort, to be fair for them.
They're a fiery squad. If you want to look at an underdog who is just absolutely popping off, I see an Orm in the kill feed. Here we
both just go. Look at that.
Here we are.
Hetra. Another man, Sam and Baha, long-time teammates. Both who can use a sniper, a bolt action, whatever. Ranger marksman, give him a long-range scope and they'll get the job done. Tempo Storm also with a big boy gun. I see the 249 there still in the hands of Mr. Sharky. McCoy may have had some level 3 gear had he stayed alive, so NA have turned up with the gear. They're going to have the level 3s in the weaponry.
Exactly.
But it is Europe in the form of FaZe Clan who are currently holding center point. All the cards, to be fair, I mean, look at this position they've got. They could just, from the top windows, keep themselves safe, cover the bodies, have a window peek here and there, and potentially just keep people at bay.
And also the hard part for the likes of Bitloft and working up.
Oh, it's still in.
Okay, so they're still safe here. And for Spacestation Gaming, they do need to find a way through. So they know where the Rumblers are, because that's where they got the knock, but clearly G2 have their number as well. Tempo Storm need to find a way through. Do they pick City or do they pick going forward? What a beautiful shot. Thank you, observers. We love Ansvar and his team for giving us this beautiful action. It's when they miss a kill and everyone kicks off. But anyway, Good stuff from them. And it is Bitloft getting the glimpse of the Rumblers working their way further forward. This does open up potential space for teams in the south, but it is going to be split by that main road running through the middle.
I'm intrigued to see what the players here from FaZe Clan. They need to. They do have a good position, but it's not 100% safe. Should the circle be unfavorable to them, they have to move. Mexi has changed position from the bottom of the hill across the road.
It feels like he's always being their next step if they need one. I feel that's what he's always providing, which I really like. He gives them those next options. Yes, it's risky, but yes, look at what it allows them to be so free to be able to make these peaks, get these pickups. That's Incognito now, getting spotted out by just about everyone. That, oh, as if.
The towel. Yeah, Mexi is one of these minds in PUBG that just does weird and wonderful stuff, and such a strong team leader. I mean, I'm not going to go into it during this game, but you talk about Nations Cup and Finland going in with him at the helm. It's going to be fun. But for now, he does change position. FaZe Clan 4 up. They are looking onwards to the north. You've got the Knights, Incognito, about to go head-to-head. The initial frags there. The second one could be the follow-up through the mid-air. And it's just going to be a firing field. Tempo Storm, be aware they are on the back foot of this. They are seeing all this action, and there's only one way, and that's forward for them. So very soon, they'll come into the line of sight of the Knights, but the Knights have got problems of their own because Bitloft has turned up behind them.
They have, and SSG are being found by just about everyone, whether it was G2, Rumblers. They had the gear, but they didn't have the players to use it. And we are seeing Tempo Storm starting to receive a bit of attention now. The nades coming through, and clearly the Knights are aware. Nox a little further ahead from the others, hopefully not too isolated. He's got a nice little ridgeline to play off.
Here we go.
Inside bleeding out in the meantime. Waikakamukau still alive, but he's out of this fight, leaving it towards those other two. And it looks like Tempo Storm are backing away. They don't want it.
I don't think they can back away, Lauren. They're outside of the white. They have to go forward. The zone will force the engagement. The bullets come through, but the distance, Uber, with the mini from the building, we said they have line of sight on all of this. This will cause problems now. Zampa stepped up, Nox reels again, so 2 down here for the Knights.
That's a big push from Dre. As soon as they saw it was the same team that they just knocked, it was go time. This is points aplenty, and there's the pickup. Drayden still stands, but it's a matter of how long, because look at Bitloft. They went in on the action. They hear. They smell blood in the water, and they know what's happening.
He's healing.
Drayden. Right now, Drayden with bated breath. Does he get seen? He does, and he goes down. A valiant attempt. He tried as he might. It's just down to Dre, if I'm not mistaken, standing for Tempo Storm. 5 HP in a dream. He's going to try and get the med kit off. Blue is on his back. Bitloft and knocking at the door. They're pushing down on this. They want to clear it out. They want those points. Dre's back up on full HP, though. Maybe he can do something. Their teammates are bleeding out by the wayside. Was it worth it?
Just dropped off the hillside, so be able to get the res for now. Good effort from Drayden. He saw them above him, and if they hadn't looked down the hillside, they could have got the res. It's definitely a good way. G2 move on board with them. 2 players outside of the white. The Rumblers now, decent position for them. Good compound, center point, almost. Silzen just heading upside of the hill here. Waikakamukau still alive. You know, for Bitloft, they might just disengage from this one. Why bother fighting it? Just get ready and set up, because, again, Tempo, they can only come one way.
Yeah, I would say the next big problem for all these teams, if it's anyone on the northern side, it looks quite likely it could go south just percentage-wise. If it does, crossing that road is going to be pretty much signed, sealed, delivered death, with so many teams literally in those buildings on the southern side where we saw Mexi previously. He moved across, so interesting to see what happens here. Rumblers still alive, holding on. They are really trying to keep their game going, and it's not been easy for them either. They got that orb received towards them earlier, and we do see the rest of G2 now consolidating their forces, pulling themselves together. Tempo Storm on the outskirts, working their way around. It looks like Bakawaka just got spotted as well, I think, quite far out. Waikakamukau tries to make a run, and he gets made into mincemeat. Down he goes, Fuzzface is there. And again, FaZe looking for the next potential victims.
Mexi should get a read on where Bitloft are, if not with a couple of noises of the footsteps in front of them, maybe even spots one of them moving between the rafters of the balls behind. I can see the grenade coming out in his hand. He's just cycled the weapons, which suggests to me that he has some sort of information. He's also been tagged up and damaged. He did just overextend. Now the call comes through. Fuzz, have a look above my head, David, and check if anyone's knocking on my door, and they are. So they need to be careful themselves. But on the opposing side, just over the road, not too far, G2 in the same scenario, just keeping Rumblers in check. Broken building, so if they get an absolutely colossal grenade.
Here we go. Suddenly, all right, let's talk about what this means, Rich, because the Rumblers have gone from 0 to hero, and all the teams who are happily just popping off shots in those buildings can't sit there anymore.
So this is where you need Mexi for FaZe to be watching where the rest of all the players in front of him have gone. If there's an avenue of escape here for FaZe Clan, they should take it. Initial frags will go down. They'll try and feel it out. Just go fishing with dynamite. Hope something comes up. If it doesn't, it at least gives them, again, an avenue for them. It's Bitloft who are the next problem. Bitloft have the compound. They could sit in the broken garages in front of them. They would be inside the circle. But it's such rough terrain because then you've got to cross the road and you're pretty much dead.
Well, 5 seconds and they need to make their minds up. I don't know how much utility FaZe has. Tempo Storm has some. Bitloft, I'm not seeing any on one of the players. That's not a good look. You need those smokes to cross. If anyone sets up to try and get those shots across, you're going to be found. Tempo Storm's in the position for it. G2, Red Canids could potentially do it as well, but they'll be kind of sacrificing themselves for the... trying to get across themselves. They'll be kind of shooting themselves in the foot. So every team needs to find a way in, and right now FaZe might just have to stick on this. And Tempo Storm in a spot of bother. You are seeing the Red Canids starting to open up, but there's that blue, and it does damn well hurt. Off we go, boys, and oh no, on the way down, it's dear, greet them with a smile and a whole lot of bullets. G2 are ready and waiting, and that is going to be their side of things. Can they make it off the hill? I don't know, because they just found FaZe as well. FaZe just got spotted, and that's danger for FaZe. The high ground is G2's. They can, oh, the shot from Uber. So crisp, going to force some of these boys back, and they ain't safe just yet. And Uber, oh my word, Uber, you absolute animal.
Oh my word. We've seen what Uber can do from an individual standpoint, and that right there is it. Nowhere to go, blue on the back, what can you do? Mini 14 puts them dead to rights. Bullets come across from the opposing side. This might distract Bitloft for now. There's only one player looking towards the side of FaZe Clan. I don't think they can get the res. Buzz is still down there. Nope, he's gone. He went out earlier on. Excuse me. Now they've moved up. Bitloft actually might flip towards FaZe here.
They could do. This could be their choice. We are down to 4 teams. This is the last time of it, but HC on the cross gets the angle, using the smoke so well, trying to occlude from Tempo Storm and finds an angle on them. And again, FaZe Clan are coming into their own. This spray, that's 3 times. This guy, this team, they're gods right now. But they still have the Rumblers to get past down the line, but they have to get past Bitloft first. Bitloft taking them down though, 1 by 1. They're falling. I think it's just Uber alive. Oh, and they've fallen. Bitloft plays spoiler to the absolute tear FaZe were going on. And now the Rumblers emerge. Hidden, waiting patiently. They arrive. They remove Tempo Storm. We're down to 2. Bitloft suffered casualties during that. This is surely the Rumblers game.
We spoke about what a swing a win can do, and this is exactly what the Rumblers need. There's only 3 points in the bag when it comes to kills, but 10 points would send them flying up that leaderboard. 11 kills from Bitloft as well. This has been a massive game from them.
Huge game. All these regions are turning the hell up. Lost HD doing what he can, but it's Waldo to close it. And it's the Rumblers. The NA Cinderella story carry-ons here.
Quite literally 0 to hero. Back-to-back 0-point games, and now they've just picked up 15 just like that. Another win today would send them further up the leaderboard and maybe solidify themselves into the top 10. Unfortunately, if you talk about second lives, more chances to carry on, I think they've used them up today. With 2 poor performances back-to-back, then bouncing into a win like that, it's going to pay dividends in the long run. But NA so far, I tell you actually, for Tempo Storm, if you think about it, in the position that they were, coming all the way from the back of the blue, they had to go through the Knights, they had to go through Bitloft to make it into that circle, to actually make it into not only second, but third, excuse me, into that compound. They shouldn't have been allowed to do that.
Yeah, that sneaky little timing on the rotation, heading across the road when the timing was right. That was good play. But I'm going to give credit where it's due. We were looking for an NA winner, a team to step up. If this is how they're going to do it, then so be it. I'm more than happy to see that. If you want to play that slow, cautious game, do it. Play it out. You play the circle that's in front of you. You play the game that's in front of you. You can't sit there and credit Na'Vi for playing their style and then not give credit to the Rumblers. They did somewhat of a similar thing. Yes, Na'Vi got a boatload of kills to boot, but the Rumblers got the win in the bag, and the first NA team to actually do it as well.
They took a big pivotal compound. They solidify it and then let everyone else just move towards their position. Again, with that ridge line, it gives you some leverage against all the players because they know they're either just going to hit the deck and jump off of it.
True.
With the blue at the back, really, what can you do? You saw what happened with G2. They exposed themselves. Uber said, well, thank you very much. I'll take all three of you, not a problem.
That was just filth.
To be fair, same thing kind of happened to FaZe Clan. You look towards Bitloft. They was a bit lost in the end when the players just turned around on the roadside. It's like a little bit confused now where the bullets are actually going to be coming from. But yeah, credit where credit's due to NA there. They stepped it up, and I think they got first and third.
Yeah, very nicely done for them. That's a good road to recovery, hopefully, for them. Some of those teams desperately needed those points to shoot up the table. But again, we have to keep looking outside of just EU and A.
Yeah.
So many of these regions delivering. You looked at Athletico. Again, so many kills, so aggressive, so good. Incognito up there. We saw the LATAM region again delivering. So I'm so happy to see it. And someone else that I'm very happy to be seeing is Godspeed down on the stage with Rachel.
Thank you, Pansy. I'm happy to see him too. Congratulations on this win for the Rumblers. 2-0 games before this. What did you do to change gears?
We basically just wanted to be a little more aggressive, even though we weren't that aggressive, because we ended up just holding out the compound. The best part of it for us was the fact that it ended on us, so we could kind of turtle a little bit and just play a slower game. But definitely what we want to do going forward is be more aggressive and take more team fights.
Yeah, but you guys had a great patience play in this last match here. We did see another one of the teams, FaZe Clan, cleaning up. They looked pretty intimidating as far as the kill feed, but they got taken out by Bitloft. So did you watch that all play out? What were you waiting for to move into that situation?
Basically, we were just waiting for G2 above us to die, because until they died, we couldn't really peek and we couldn't get the angles that we wanted to, which kind of sucked because there was a lot of kills out there that we potentially could have gotten. But at the same time, we didn't want to put ourselves at risk and then just die or get knocked for free. They were also trying to, I think, bait us with a bike, which Tempo Storm does a lot in NA as well. They like to bait with vehicles, so we knew what they were doing. But we just really needed this win because the last two games, we obviously got 0 points, but that's also a strength of our team. The fact that we can have a few bad games, preferably we don't, but if we do, we just bounce back and we just have the patience and mindset to go forward. So.
Yeah, the mentality of the Rumblers is always something to be respected, and I especially preferred, as the circle closed in on Los Leones. Here's my question. I wanted to know, what were you guys thinking? It's an interesting circle, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of compounds. So how did you manage communication-wise to pull that out?
So that we discussed, because we were all the way on the south, and we knew that the south side was basically clear. No one was coming in behind us. No one was rotating behind us. We had really good scouting practices moving up. So it was either the decision to go on top or go on the bottom. And we figured it's kind of harder to come off that hill, which is exactly what happened to FaZe and I believe G2. So it was actually Los that called that we should go on the bottom. And then once we went on the bottom, all we had to do was kind of turtle. The circle really helped us a lot. And it was able to give us the position that we needed to win the game.
All right, last question for you. A lot of teams coming out with a lot of impressive things to show in these games. We've seen 3 matches of Miramar. Any team in particular here that threw you for a loop? Any unexpected plays?
Not so much for a loop. I mean, FaZe pushed us and got really aggressive early. In the first game, we knew they'd do that. Athletico's been actually playing really aggressive as well, and we knew they would play aggressive. We just weren't sure how they were going to do against these types of teams, but I'll be honest, I mean, they've been doing well so far. I mean, it's only been 3 games. Still, anyone can win, anything can happen, but I think every team here has something to offer, and that's why they're all here. So.
Well said. Thank you so much for the insights, Godspeed. Now back to you guys and the rest of our day.
Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Godspeed. As I tie myself up in a wire and almost pull it off my head. Wow, that was a crazy game for multiple reasons. Before we get on to why Godspeed pulled out the sorry, not just Godspeed, but Godspeed and his crew, the Rumblers, pulled out the W. I'd like to go back to the moment which they actually referenced on stage, where it was like G2, FaZe, and was it Red Canids or Incog? That whole engagement where Uber, he was under so much pressure and he still wiped out a bunch of people. Steve, what was going on in that moment?
I mean, in those moments, those are the chaos factors of that there's multiple teams fighting. You have to make a hard decision. Do you get involved? And Godspeed said it. There was a lot of kill potential up there. We could have pushed, potentially picked up some kills, and you make that choice. Remember, if you don't get the circle, look for kills. If you get it, look for points. And they did the smart thing. They waited it out. They said, we're going to hold our warehouse. We're going to let the debacle of death upon the hill happen, and we're going to do our own thing. And that was the smart play there. They only got 4 kills in that game. or I mean it was 5, but they managed to get a win, and that's going to be more important in that scenario.
Oh yeah, I mean, it also comes down sometimes, how do you want to play the game?
Yeah.
We saw Red Canids, for example, 2 of them had to vault out from the house there and straight down to Udyr. Now, that's something you need to look up to. What do you want to do? Do you want to wait until the blue is up upon you and you're forced to move out? Because that's what happened, and we saw that in the early game as well, the previous game. In the end there, towards Liquid as well, when they were super slow. I want to see a little bit more aggressiveness coming out from them.
I mean, we want to see aggression, but caution is the better part of Valor a lot of times, and that's where it comes down to, especially in these city fights. We don't always get to see finishes in places like Los Leones. It's about understanding the when and the how of how these are going down, and I think Rumblers executed that very well. He said it, they got the circle, they were favored in that context, and they were able to execute. I want to give it a shout out to Sims and Pansy, though, because I think they're probably responsible for this. They trolled North America pretty hard there before that game and said, oh, look, all of them are in the bottom. And they were right. And then we get 3 of our teams in the top 5 in that match. So maybe they lit a fire that we needed for North America to kind of bounce back a little bit.
Indeed. And Steve, going back to when and how things transpired, let's get Toby on board for our GLL breakdown.
Thank you, Apala. They win the game. Rumblers, Bitloft have 10+ kills, but the team I want to take a look at here is G2. Only a 3-kill game for them, but it could have been a whole lot more had things gone a bit differently. If we take it to the very start of the game, everyone is coming in from the northern side. You can pretty much cut G2 off. They're down here in the bottom of your screen. You can cut them off. They're isolated. They're by themselves. Now, they start moving forward. They know they're by themselves. They've seen the plane paths coming in, and they immediately take the hillside positions on the southeastern side. Plenty of you can scout your way forward. You can make sure that wherever you start going, you won't have opponents coming at you immediately. Now, what happens here? Because there's a general term, a general saying in competitive PUBG that going to the cities early, that's a no-go. No one is gonna go in here. Inside Los Leones, that is suicidal, and you just don't want to do it. You can't scout anything, you can't get anything done. So once it kind of starts shifting northwards, pretty much every team, with the exception of SSG, who's busy rotating all the way around the earth here, with the exception of them, every single team is either north or on the eastern side of the city. G2 realizes this. They were the ones sitting and looking inside the city for a while, and you can see the way they're rotating around here. They go to the compound up by where Caint is, trying to see if they can get up there. They do get the spot, but once the next circle pops right after this, that's where things get interesting. It pops and it starts going back down towards the city, and they realize this. We've scouted it earlier. We know no one's going to start going inside the city early. Therefore, we have a chance at setting up shop here. There's so many teams on the north. They heard all the shots fired earlier. They were positioning themselves to do things from there. And the way that they're sitting in it, they can, well, I mean, they can just push down inside the city. You see their position. Braxco sitting well. They can hold off all the teams coming in from the northern side. All the teams that are sitting up on the northern side, no chance for them to do anything other than push into the city. They hope. Doesn't happen though. It becomes a cluster. Everything up northwest of Los Leones is practically impossible. You cannot get anything done with so many players up here, nothing going on down here. They realize that we ain't gonna get the kills. We'll play passive, just like Rumblers said. When you get the position, you're gonna play for it. You're not gonna go over aggressive in that regard. So they set up shop knowing teams are gonna be coming from south as well. If they ain't coming around the northern side, they could be coming up from the south, and they know SSG are there, and they do so well in keeping them at bay. They say no matter what happens here, they took the high ground position. You see Caint and Brexco, I believe it was, both sitting on each of their roofs up. You're exposed up there, but they were shooting at everything coming their way. We need to make sure that SSG has no chance in pushing up towards us. And of course, in the end of things, circle goes downhill. It's a plateau battle. It's a 50-50 shift. They don't get it. FaZe and, well, the thing is, Uber pretty much single-handedly dealing with them. But a great push from G2. Nice awareness, nice pushes that in the end could have led to a whole hell of a lot of points. Unfortunately, didn't happen. Still good 6th place, though. Paula, that was it for me. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toby, for that breakdown. We're pretty much ready to get the scoreboard up from that match. Guys, is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we close out the first half of the day?
I mean, I'm excited to see Bitloft going forward. At the beginning of the day, I said, don't sleep on Bitloft. They've got a lot of potential. I think they're in about 3rd place or so like that. The question for me is, as we look at this scoreboard in a minute and we go forward, they're about to butt heads with Na'Vi on Erangel, and that's going to cost both of these teams some big points potentially.
yeah, we're gonna have to see who's gonna be on top of that. I mean, it's gonna be rough for him, but let's take a look at the scoreboard here
11 kills for Bitloft. I mean, you can continue your point,
But this
Patrick. Everyone can see this at home, so.
Yeah, but we want to talk about this.
Yeah, what about Bitloft? But that's my point.
Yeah.
Bitloft is playing exceptionally well. They got 11 kills. And when it comes to points, it doesn't always mean that placement puts you in first. Rumblers got first, but they finish in second because Bitloft knew we don't have the circle. Let's rack up some kills.
But you also have FaZe Clan Athletico once again getting a lot of kills on the board there. That also means a lot of points. Tempo Storm, once again, good placement, more kills this time. And that's what we need to see from them.
It feels like Tempo and Athletico are building, and G2 actually to an extent, are building a good level of consistency. I mean, over the 3 matches, we've seen them in roughly that top 8, I think. I'd have to check that. But
I think we're going to be
doing a good job of staying steady.
Teams are going to be looking for about 6 points per game, I think, as they come out of day 1 in terms of their averages to set them up for a good day 2. Teams like Athletico are definitely doing that with their performance. Total leaderboard right now, Team Liquid looking good, but man, it is still piling up there at the top of this thing.
Yeah, Bitloft on the rise. That 3rd match, the final one of the day on Miramar, moves them up 6 places into 2nd.
Well, that also shows you how close it is between the teams right now. Just from 1 game moving up 6 placements, that's a lot. You see Rumblers as well moving up 7 slots with just 1 win.
Athletico, on the other hand, doesn't care. They're just going to stick in 4th. They've been doing that all day. It's a good place to find themselves for a team that was coming in with a lot of expectations in terms of how they performed in the OCE and a lot of questions in terms of how can they perform here. I think they're making a bold statement. Bitloft and Athletico are 2 big surprises to me that I'm incredibly excited to see how they're doing.
I'm actually not super surprised. Well, of course, we weren't kind of expecting them to be that far up, but at the same time, we talked about it. They can be wildcards. Do not count them out.
It's true.
Any surprises for you guys with who's currently in the bottom, say, 4 to 6? You know, Cloud9 is struggling. Pittsburgh Knights, unfortunately, are able to get off to a good start so far.
Well, I think we needed Pittsburgh to have a good start, and they're not getting it, and that's been frustrating to see.
Well, C9, for example, they've been chased out of their Picado. And, I mean, if it's going to be the same story on Ariel, it's going to be rough for them because, as we can see right now, they're struggling not playing their normal game. They can't have the normal rotations. They don't know what's going on around them. And it's just frustrating for them, and nothing is working.
Let me put in this context. K-Mine was the top damage dealer in the NPL during their Phase 2. Is he doing that right now? I'm willing to bet that he's not even going to be on the list of top damage dealers at the moment, and that, I think, is hurting them big time.
Exactly, and we can get the overall damage dealers list up on screen for you now. So it's Uber, total damage deal. I'm sure quite a bit of that came in that 3rd match. And I'm not surprised to see the twin Sampty and Gempty, considering what they were up to when it was just those 2 alive. Was it game 1 or 2, right?
When they went off?
When it was just those 2 on their own.
Game 1.
Game 1, yeah. They had a great bit of duo play to close out that match. Let me see Rusty Zera from Red Canids and Draydon from Pittsburgh Knights, also putting up over 1,000 damage in these first 3 matches.
So as we look at this, we've got 4 top damage dealers that are performing very well. On the opposite side, Draydon's team can barely get out of the top bottom of this map, and he's still in a top damage position. So that's got to be getting very frustrating for Draydon, knowing that he's performing and the team's not.
I mean, they only got 6 kills in total, and Draydon has 1k damage already. And it also tells the story, like, are you taking more of long-range battles, making sure to get a little bit of damage down? Now, that doesn't really translate into kills right now, though, so they need to change that up. They need to do something else.
Yep, you have to finish off those knocks to get the points. And now we have finished off our first half of the day. It's time to move into our final 3 games of the day on Erangel. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after this break.